Welcome back to CarScope, where we dive deeper than anyone else into the machines that define speed, style, and the future of performance. Today, we're stepping into a legend reborn. It's aggressive, it's unapologetic, and it's a car that refuses to be tamed. This is the 2026 Dodge Viper SRT, the return of one of America's most iconic performance monsters, reimagined for a new era without losing the raw, emotional chaos that made the Viper a name whispered with both awe and fear. Dodge promised that if the Viper ever came back, it would come back with fire in its veins. And after spending time with this machine, it's clear they weren't exaggerating. The first thing that grabs you is the way this car looks when it rolls into view. Even before the engine starts, the 2026 Viper SRT looks like it's vibrating with tension, like a predator coiled to strike. The front end delivers the kind of visual punch you expect from something that wears the Viper badge. The hood stretches long and low, sculpted with deep, functional vents that channel heat from the massive power plant beneath. Everything here serves a purpose: airflow, cooling, aerodynamic balance, but Dodge has managed to keep it all feeling organic, almost animalistic. The headlights are slimmer than ever, swept back sharply with full LED and adaptive matrix tech, giving the car a menacing stare that follows you no matter where you stand. The front fascia widens dramatically near the ground, where an active carbon splitter lowers at speed. When you kneel beside it, you can see the layers of aerodynamic craftwork: air dams, tunnels, channels, all designed to glue the Viper to pavement and keep the monstrous engine fed with cooling air. Move along the side and the stance becomes even more dramatic. The proportions are classic Viper but refined: long hood, tiny cockpit, massive rear shoulders. The side profile feels carved, like the body has been shaped by wind and speed rather than designers. Huge side vents behind the front wheels aggressively pull hot air from the brakes, and the iconic side exit exhausts make their return, redesigned with carbon shielding to manage heat more safely. When the engine fires up, you feel that side exhaust in your ribcage. The car sits low, extremely low, on staggered forged wheels wrapped in semi-slick performance tires. The fender bulges are unmistakably Viper, exaggerated even more in this new generation. Every panel lines up with an aerodynamic purpose, whether it's smoothing airflow, generating downforce, or reducing turbulence. The roof dips low into a double bubble shape, not just a callback to classic racing silhouettes but also functional for helmet clearance. The entire side profile screams pure intent. It makes other sports cars look friendly, and even supercars seem a little shy. When you walk around to the back of the 2026 Viper SRT, things get truly wild. The rear is all business, all aggression, and unmistakably track-focused. The taillights span thin and wide across the body, glowing like a red-hot blade at night. The muscular rear haunches flow into a sculpted tail section with an aggressive diffuser carved so deep you could hide a lunchbox inside it. The quad exhaust tips sit tight and high, purely functional, helping maintain a clean aerodynamic flow. And then there's the wing, an active carbon fiber masterpiece that adjusts its angle based on speed, steering load, or track mode settings. At rest, it looks imposing; at speed, it's transformative. Even standing still, the back of the car creates the illusion that it's already moving. It gives you that instinctive feeling that if you blink, it'll be halfway down the highway. Open the door and slip inside, and the interior delivers a surprising shift. Dodge kept the Viper's raw personality, but modernized everything around the driver. This isn't a stripped-out race cockpit anymore. It's a fusion of performance-focused, but with modern luxury and technology stitched in. You sit low, practically on the floor, with the cockpit trapping tightly around you. The steering wheel has a flat top and bottom, with Alcantara grips and programmable drive mode switches right under your thumbs. The instrument cluster is a 12-inch digital display that changes themes depending on whether you're in street, sport, track, or the new SRT Max mode. There's a central touchscreen angled slightly toward the driver, running a performance-first interface that displays telemetry, tire temps, downforce data, and live power distribution. Despite its modernity, the interior avoids the numb, buttonless feel that plagues many new performance cars. There are still physical switches for key functions, solid metal toggles that click with mechanical precision, and a shifter that feels intentionally old-school in its weight and throw. Dodge even brought back the center console layout with exposed stitching and a blend of carbon fiber, leather, and Alcantara. It's not a luxury cruiser, but it's far more comfortable and refined than the Vipers of the past, which often felt like you were driving a beautiful death trap. This version respects the driver without punishing them. All of this leads to the heart of the 2026 Dodge Viper SRT, its performance. Dodge has done something bold as they've reintroduced a naturally aspirated 9.4-liter V10 engine, refined for modern emissions and equipped with variable intake tech and lightweight titanium internals. It's a masterpiece of controlled fury, producing an estimated 765 horsepower and 690 pounds-feet of torque, all fed to the rear wheels through a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission developed specifically for this car. Dodge considered forced induction, but ultimately kept the Viper's soul intact. The power delivery is instant, linear, and savagely responsive. There's no waiting for boost, no filters between your right foot and the engine. Tap the throttle, and the nose lifts like the car is ready to break orbit. On the track, the Viper SRT feels sharper and far more composed than any previous generation. The new adaptive suspension combines hydraulic rebound control with active anti-roll tech, giving the car a precision that earlier Vipers simply didn't have. It grips with terrifying confidence, and you feel the aerodynamics doing real work as speed climbs. The steering is hydraulic assisted, not fully electric, which gives every corner a depth of feedback that's nearly extinct in today's performance world. Dodge wanted the driver to feel fully connected to the front wheels, and they achieved it. Braking is equally impressive, handled by massive carbon ceramic rotors that take abuse lap after lap. Despite all its aggression, the Viper doesn't feel out of control anymore. It feels intentionally challenging, but never unfair. It rewards skill but doesn't punish mistakes the way earlier Vipers did. It's still a beast, just a smarter one. Now, the inevitable question: price. Dodge hasn't dropped an official number yet, but industry estimates place the base 2026 Viper SRT around the $180,000 to $200,000 range. Track packages, carbon upgrades, and special editions could push that toward $250,000 or more. It's not cheap, but it's competing with cars deep in supercar territory, and it brings something none of them do: an unapologetically American V10 with a personality that refuses to be sanitized. For collectors and performance purists, this pricing makes sense. For everyday buyers broken bar, well, the Viper has never been an everyday purchase. And that brings us to the sign-off. The 2026 Dodge Viper SRT is not just a return, it's a statement. A challenge to a performance world increasingly dominated by turbos, hybrids, and electric motors. It's the loudest, boldest reminder that pure mechanical power still has a place, and that raw emotion still matters. It carries the weight of its legacy proudly, delivers modern engineering without sacrificing identity, and stands as a living, breathing piece of performance history. If this really is one of the last great naturally aspirated supercars, then what a way to go out. Thanks for watching CarScope. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the reborn Viper and want more reviews like these, detailed, honest, and built for true enthusiasts, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. We've got more incredible machines coming your way, and you won't want to miss what's next. Until then, drive safe, stay curious, and keep your eyes on the road ahead.